Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time. I haven't done one of these for a while. This is spoiler alert, episode 26. Episode 26 is spoiler alert. And this is, of course, where if you guys want to talk about anything spoilerish, and I'm going to talk about stuff that's spoilerish, this is where you can do it. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, this is not the place to be. So, and again, this is for stuff that's already out there in the public, nothing that you've seen sneak preview wise or anything like that. So anything that's, you know, fair game there to the public. Let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages. All right. So, where to start? Where to start? Where to start? I know exactly where to start because I'm not going to be covering it on the regular podcast. HBO Max has the animated series Velma, which, yes, is Velma Dinkley, Scooby Doo, all that stuff. So Mindy Kaling has taken a stab at an adult version of Velma, and the first two episodes released yesterday, I believe, is what it was. So I sat there and I watched them. I, you know, I was gonna see how it went, and honestly, it's pretty bad. um, Yeah, there's not a single likable character in the entire series. And the other thing that just kind of made me laugh was so if you know the whole thing about Scooby Doo, you've got these mainly white kids in Scooby Doo that are traveling around in a van with a talking dog. You know, there's a lot of drug allegories here and there as well. And they're solving mysteries, right? So this takes it back to the beginning of all of this before they started solving mysteries as a crew and changes their ethnicities, which I started laughing about this because I started thinking about it. If you're going to go real world terms, is kind of what Mindy Kaling was getting to in all of this. Um, if you had this makeup of kids driving around in that van, breaking into properties and like abandoned amusement parks and mansions and stuff like that to solve crimes against these real estate developers and whatnot. They would have been killed by cops a long time ago. The only one that wouldn't be killed is Fred because I hate to say it, he's the only white guy in there. Yes, it is a stereotype, but honestly, that is where they're going with this. If you want to see a better version of a parody of the Scooby Doo gang, go and take a look at the Venture Brothers. The Venture Brothers actually did this in their final, no, not their final season, but the next to final season, and did a much better parody of this. This one, like I said, there's not a single likable character in the entire thing. Um, Shaggy, well, first of all, he's not called Shaggy in this. He's called by, Norville by his name. And he hasn't been introduced to pot at this point, but they keep, wink, wink, nudge, nudge throughout the two episodes that, eventually he's going to end up smoking pot and, yeah, getting, yeah. Yeah, it's really tiring. I mean, it feels like an early 2000s, stab at an Adult Swim, cartoon, and I mean, just a stab at it, not really even a finished product, if you will. So it's not funny. It's not even thought-provoking, really. It just is kind of there, and you're like, "Ugh, man." I mean, if anything, we as the audience kind of have sympathy for Velma's mother running away from the family because it's just that boring of a show. I mean, that's kind of how we are as the audience, is just abandoning this show to its own devices because it's that bad. Um, yeah, I don't see this thing. I mean, you know what? I say now I don't see this thing going any place. Most likely it's going to become really popular. So, yeah, it's just, oh, wow, it's bad. Um, Speaking of bad, another thing too is I know I stopped covering Willow. I finished out the series because it just finished this week, and yeah, it's just bad. I kind of figured out what happened with this. So Disney did not want to put up movie money for a sequel, especially after Solo crashed and burned. Solo, a Star Wars story. That's so John Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan's son, is the one who's behind all of this, and he's the one who is behind Solo, a Star Wars story. Um, so of course they're not going to trust him with movie money, so they gave him some TV money to do this. And wow, it's just it's bad dialogue, really long, drawn out plot that shouldn't have been this long. Uh, this maybe had bones for, I would say, an 80-minute movie at most, and could have been wrapped up fairly quickly. It's it's of course set up for a sequel, and as a matter of fact, when the it's not even a narrator, you see the they open every episode opened up with the book opening up, and it was supposed to be the story of Willow and all that stuff. So at the end of the last episode of this season, whoever's book it is, they put it up on the bookshelf, and we see that there are two other novels in the Willow story, and I'm like, wow. I mean, it's bad. And also, it has the worst versions of any cover songs you could ever find. It was like they went out of their way to find the worst version of these cover songs, enough that they could actually release a double album of really bad cover songs that no one would ever buy. Yeah, it's really bad, really, really bad. So, enough about the bad stuff. Now on to some good stuff, maybe. Well, Hunters, which I know I covered on it, Is It Worth My Time? So Hunters starred Al Pacino and oh, there's a lot of people in this. I need to actually look up. I don't have it open, but I will right now on IMDb. So Hunters is the story set in 1970s New York, late 1970s New York, about a group of people hunting down Nazis that escaped, you know, uh, judgment and Nuremberg trials and all that kind of stuff. And they're hunting down these Nazis and killing them. Um, Logan Lerman is the other person, and Lena Olin is also in this as well. So Logan Lerman, you probably remember from Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson movies. So he's in that. He's all grown up now. Al Pacino's in this as well. So the second season is out as well right now. It just got released last night, and it's the final season. So it's going to be 2 seasons and it's done. So if you want to watch the entire thing, both seasons are up in its entirety. And I'll just say this right now: the second season is batshit insane. The way it left off on the end of the first season, and I'm going to spoil this for you because like I said, it's spoiler alert. We find out that Hitler is alive and well in Argentina. And season two is the hunt for Hitler, is really what it is, the hunt for Adolf Hitler. And uh, my God, man. Um, yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh joins the cast for the second season. Judd Hirsch is also joining the cast for the second season. And Udo Kier joins the cast as Adolf Hitler. And man, I'll say this right now. I'm into it right now. I think on episode 4 at the moment out of 8. And yeah, I mean the only thing that stopped me from watching it was I had to sleep and get to work in the morning. So yeah, it's really good stuff. It's just a lot of fun. It's crazy, it's nutty, it's out there. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. and all of this stuff. But yeah, that's really good stuff there as well. I got nobody coming in, huh? It's probably too late for everybody. I can understand that. So, what else is out there? And also, I've been getting into weird reality shows too. So like Blown Away, which is a glass blowing show. Of all things, is a glass blowing competition, which just seems odd. It's on Netflix, so I've been watching that. Basically, stuff to kind of wind down the evening, that kind of stuff. Um, there's also a drink competition that's on there too on Netflix that I was watching it for a while there. And then Peacock also had a baking competition, another different baking competition called Baking It with um, Amy Poehler and Maya. Oh Jesus, I can't remember her name. SNL. So the first season actually had Maya and Andy Samberg. So yeah, Maya Rudolph. There we go, Maya Rudolph. Now I remember. So yeah, kind of benign stuff. Um, I'm looking forward to Valhalla, the second season of Vikings Valhalla showing up today. Actually, it's already on Netflix. So I'm gonna catch up on that as well. There isn't a lot of genre stuff coming out. I mean, yes, we have The Last of Us premiering on Sunday, which I will be covering, but I'm going to be covering it on Monday just because, again, as you can see here, it's late for people on the East Coast and kind of late for people on the West Coast too. I guess people are out and about, whatnot, and even in this rain that we have going on. So that's why I need to do this a little bit earlier, for those people. We also have Legend of Vox Machina season 2's coming out on January 20th. Um, so Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur that's coming out on February 10th is an animated series and it's geared more towards kids. I just had it on this schedule because I love Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur is another one of those obscure Marvel characters that I really like. Moon Girl is also an obscure Marvel character, more recent Marvel character, I guess you could say. And I know there was a comic book series that was really popular, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And yes, it is geared towards kids. But I figured, I'll give it a shot and take a look at it because sometimes the kid stuff is actually pretty good. And, you know, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Picard season 3, of course, is coming out on February 16th. That's the third and final season. And basically, I think it's just all the next generation folks that are going to be in there. So if you're interested in that, that's there. What's coming up for me, the next big thing that I'm really looking forward to is Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania, which is February 17th. And that looks crazy insane. Yeah, the time traveling city, going down to the quantum verse. Um, yeah, it's going to be some really insane stuff. I'm really looking forward to that. And yes, I will be covering that. I'm most likely going to go see it, Thursday night when it opens up because I really want to see that movie. That movie looks good. That looks like a lot of fun. I'm a fan of the Ant-Man movies. The first Ant-Man movie is actually my favorite out of the two. There's some bits and pieces of the second movie I like, but it's the acting for the actress who plays Ghost in the second movie that kind of ruins it for me. Yeah, it's just it's off. But the first movie just makes me laugh. It really does. Um, Carnival Row season 2, I guess it's going to be the final season, is coming out on February 17th. That thing came out in like 2019. So, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I got bored with the first season and stopped just because it was bad for me anyway. I mean, you might like it, go for it if that's what floats your boat. And then we go into March at that point. Mandalorian season 3 starts up on March 1st. So I mean, we're going all the way out to March at that point. I mean, granted, we're in the middle of it's hard to believe we're already in the middle of January for the new year, but still, yeah, it's out there. Mhm. Um, What else am I watching? Um, Actually, not too much more than that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I have work that started back up again. I was off for almost a month from work, and now back in the swing of things. I'm trying to remember how to do things because it's just enough time off work to forget how to do things. Um, yeah, and I've got that going on. I'm also house hunting again, kind of thing too. So there's all that stuff going on. Plus, I've got this thing going on. You know, that's why I might be a little bit on the scattered side when you take a look at my schedule and I don't show up on time. So I apologize for that. That is, time management on my side. Things runneth over into my real life, runs over into the online life there. So, and then of course, I've also got to take care of the little dog too, who's out cold on the couch next to me right now. I'm not really caring what she's doing. So, anybody else? I know there's a lurker out there. I see a lurker in there. Anybody you want to talk about anything or no? Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap things up and call this a short one and get it in the can. No, going once, going twice. All right. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow I'm going to be off. Sunday is going to be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any of the genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Raymond says, I missed the whole episode. Sorry. Oh, no problem, Raymond. Hey, you're here. Did you want to talk about anything? Because um, I'm game. I just wasn't, no one was here. So I figured I talked a little bit about Velma. I talked about Willow. I talked about Hunters, that kind of stuff. And, what's coming up. So, you haven't seen anything genre lately? Okay. Yeah, it's been like I said, it's been kind of slow for a genre so far this month. It hasn't ramped back up again, but hopefully that'll change soon. Um, oh yeah, I also saw Pale Blue Eye. That is the Christian Bale Netflix movie that has Edgar Allan Poe in it as well, and that was actually really good. And yeah, it's interesting. I'll say that much. I mean, I wouldn't have paid money to see in the theater. I'm glad I saw it on Netflix. But I always like watching Christian Bale act. But after watching, starting Hunter's season 2 with Jennifer Jason Lee in it, I really kind of miss Jennifer Jason Lee in movies. She is just such a great actress. She takes on. I honestly think she's better than Meryl Streep. um, just the way she takes on characters and accents and things like that. And just, she changes her whole demeanor, the way she walks, the way she carries herself, things like that. And um, yeah, I honestly, if she was acting in more stuff, I would be watching all of it because I even watched Hateful Eight because of her. And I'm not a big Quentin Tarantino fan. So yeah. What did you think of the series finale of Willow? Or we no, I actually did talk about it, Raymond, and it was horrible. It should have just been a movie, like an 80-minute movie, and just gotten it over with. But they didn't want to spend that kind of money. I talked about it earlier that yeah, after Solo, they didn't want to spend money on this thing, and so they spent TV money instead. But yeah, it's a horrible series. Just bad writing. Bad writing. I think what summed it up for me was uh the guy Eric, the brother Eric, at one point when he's looking for the crone, in a Memorial City before he knows that she's the crone, and he's looking for her around the pool that they're standing there, and he says, "Hey girl, where are you at?" That's a quote. That is the line there. And I went, "Oh," and I just kind of cringed because it was so again, I talk about, being early 2000s. That's kind of what that was early 2000s writing. It was just bad writing, and that's kind of the entire season. Season 1 of Willow had all that kind of pop culturist reference. Not even pop culture reference. It's just uh, a modern, not even modern. Jesus, it's early 2000s lingo is what it has in it, and catchphrases as well. And it's dated. It just feels dated before it even comes out. So yeah, it's bad. But anyway, I didn't mean to go back on it again and start, digging in deeper into that, but I did. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Oh, and like I said, Monday is going to be The Last of Us, episode 1. I'm not going to cover it on Sunday. Why did they play Money for Nothing at the end? That was probably what they got the rights to, Raymond. That was probably the one like original song that they got the rights to. Everything else they had to do find a really crappy cover version to it. I mean, it's like Enter Sandman. They found the worst possible version of Enter Sandman that they could find, the cover version of that. Uh, it boggled my mind. I think that was like episode 3 or 4, somewhere around there. And I was like, this song sounds familiar. And then I was like, oh, it's a really shitty rendition of Enter Sandman. Okay, because they couldn't get the rights to the original. So yeah, it's oh man, that series is just horribly bad. And the acting, oh yeah. I was kind of hoping Willow would just die off because I mean, it's really not even his series. It's really a Laura Dannon series, but no such luck. Maybe the second season, which I won't be watching. Anyway, with that said, I really am going to let you go this time. Thank you, everyone. Well, I should say thank you, Raymond, for joining me in the chat. And thank you if you made this far in the video. Yeah, Willow's magical abilities had, there was no consistency throughout the entire thing, Raymond. There really wasn't. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Sunday. So thank you for everyone joining me today in the chat, and thank you if you made this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible. It's one of the videos in my vast free library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there. All righty. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Sunday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may realize it's Friday the 13th and, it's just raining outside. That's all it's doing. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Sunday. Have a good rest of your night and stay safe. Take care and good night out there. Thanks, everyone. Good night.